Okay, so just got back from a test drive, and yes, my overheating problem with the fluid bubbling up out of the reservoir, it was the thermostat. So why I didn't think it was the thermostat and why I was so confused is I've had this car for a year and a half now, and I've never had any problems with temperature. The car has been so great, and the previous owner put a brand new thermostat in it and told me he put a BMW thermostat in it. But it's been super hot here in Ontario, and the one day I was driving back from Oakville, and this thing shot right up to red, and then it kind of came down a little bit. Shot up to red, came down a little bit, which was really odd. So I raced home, parked it in the garage, did some research, and before I forget, classic BMW guy from Quebec, his videos are always top notch, and if it wasn't for him, I would have been in a bit of a jam today because I took everything apart without documenting it, and I could have put this thing in backwards. Okay, long story short, liquid was bubbling up out of here, and it was going into the red. This was hot, but the hose down there was cold. Right away, I knew there was something wrong with the thermostat. So I pulled it all apart, and I got from Rock Auto this fail-safe. This is the number from Rock Auto. Be careful, this does not come with the rubber gasket. You have to order the rubber gasket separately. Now, one of the things is that there is no gasket between those 2 points. So when you get all this apart, don't worry about, I cut a paper gasket because I thought there was a paper gasket there, but there isn't. So there's no gasket between this part and the block, but there is the rubber gasket that goes in and around on here, and you need to order it separate to that. Okay, so put it all back together. You open up this, bleed the air out, added water in, and now she's holding temperature perfect. She goes right up to operation temperature. I drove it around the block a few times, and she's golden. So I cannot believe that this essentially brand new, made in Germany thermostat was causing my issues. Once again, I thought maybe it was installed wrong because classic BMW from Quebec guy, he said make sure the arrow points to the bleeder. And when I pulled this out, I didn't double check that. But once again, the car was running perfectly fine up until this summer. So I would assume that this was put in properly. But once again, without babbling on forever, it seems like the new thermostat has saved the day. So the cheapest option first, that's what I always go with. And she's back up and running beautifully. I added enough coolant to it. It's not bubbling over out of the reservoir anymore. So happy.